that creek hadn't got out. There hadn't been a whole bunch of rain dumped over there. We'll get down there and get a better angle of Blue Creek. That used to be clear shot. You looked over there and you get down. Yeah, this is a good thing. Let's see if I can get me a good angle. Yeah. Well, the deal with Blue Creek was Indians have campgrounds up there, and there's lots of arrowheads, and they wash out from Blue Creek, and they come down here on this gravel bar. It's underwater right now. And what happens is, when you get a big rain up the hill, it flushes over here and it cuts on this bank. And the last time it did that, I mean, it stopped the water from the Leon coming down, and all that water rushed out, and it cut that bank. And then this goes down there, kind of roots in there, and then all that over there, down there is gravel bar. And this is where it gets slippery. You can get down to it sometimes when it's lower, but when you want to go back up, it can be real slippery and treacherous. And that's not the only part about this place. I think one of these two pecan trees puts out a very tasty pecan. I don't know which one it is exactly, but I've had a couple of them. Nasty stuff through here. And that's over there. We'll go this way a little bit. Hogs travel across here a bunch. Not now when the water's up. And this is where the poachers like to cross when it's low. They park off a Levita Road and they cross over here. And one of our neighbors, his kids built a stand over there. They stacked up all kinds of driftwood and had a little gun slot opened up so they could see everything going on over there. And when they got called out on it, they said, well, we thought we owned that property. But it's like, no, everybody knows the river is the boundary for everything. Nobody, if you own both sides of the river, you just don't own 5 acres or 2 acres on one side. But in order to save face, we decided to let him think that we believe what he said, but we know better. And watch how I walk. If I slip in, I'll throw the camera up towards you, try to catch it, and I'll get the... You just never know, and you got to kind of be wary of all of this, because you know, you fall in, you're going to have to swim till you get to the right spot, find a log. There's no logs in it. Now, what we've got here, that's a gravel bar, and it should have a little channel that goes down through it. Then it narrows in right here. Now up against this the bog end, that's all blown out. There's a deep rutted channel with carved out of the rocks. And when the river dries up, it'll have 3 foot of water, maybe 10, 15 yards long of water. What happens is the channel or blue catfish will get trapped in there. They like to go in there and they lay in the calm and they pick stuff going out. Probably could catch some fish there. I never fished it. But they'll get fished out because people will see them. And then what winds up being in there is smallmouth bass. And you can go down there with little hooks and worms and catch them. I don't know that necessarily to eat them. Now, that's the other thing about Blue Creek. What happens on Blue Creek in times like this, the perch and small fish, smallmouth bass stuff, go up there and they lay their eggs while it's flowing. The eggs get hatched and then they get trapped up there. So they can't get into the river. So they grow and they get bigger. And then when the fall rains come around, it flushes them out. And it puts them in the river when they're big enough to maybe make it. You know, it's probably 1 in 100 larvae make it, or 1,000, or whatever it is. Okay, now That's my neighbor. See, that's the problem. If you don't allow a large amount of space next to the river, you know, to have trees, and if a tree falls next to the river, you leave it there so another trees can start. You wind up with that, and then it just cuts out, and it's just bare field in where there used to be trees there. You know, we're losing trees, but your trees are important for holding all this mud in. Okay. Now, they can't get lost in here. And I think he's starting to get the picture.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean.
I think he's becoming more passive.
Yeah, because he's getting lost and left behind. We follow this hog trail or deer trail. They'll usually have a path through stuff. May not be a really good path, but it's better than having to fight it through yourself. Yeah, I'm not just wandering through the woods or the weeds. I do know where I'm going. Okay. Well, I guess the river got out and took the big tree out. That was a shame. We lost that big tree. It was one of the biggest trees. It was like 500 years old. There's a stump, a piece of a branch off of it. Just finally got. Well, they sawed it off after it fell over. Oh. They tried to get a table slice for it, but the wood cracked. And this is worth knowing about, you know, if it ever gets trampled down. Yeah. Now, what this tells you is that river got out and it floated all this stuff over here and it got jammed up. So the river got out, and that's why most of that big tree's gone. Those are just branches. That's how big the damn thing was. Like I say, 500 years old was what they estimated. Okay. And you look for things like this. It tells you how high the water was. You can read the bank signs. I'm down further than I thought. Hang on, let me see if, yeah, we can get up in there, I think. Yeah. We're further off than we think. Now it changed a little bit. Okay. Huh, okay. What you got? Yeah, he put those stupid fence over there, thought he was gonna fence his cows out. It's like, what cow's gonna jump off a 20-foot thing? You can see the different levels, and you can see, you know, 5 feet down where it cut. It flowed air, and then you can see the other one. And that's the other problem. People put barbed wire on the fence. You get barbed wire in the river. Now what we got, this is shallow area in here. Up against that area over there is about 4 or 5 foot normal channel. And it runs down all along that edge over there. Now I ran a line over there and caught a 25 or 30 pound yellow cat once. about the biggest I've ever caught. What happens is the catfish move up and down the river when they're feeding, and they'll eventually work their way up here. And because I had so much slack in the line, I wound up being able to catch the guy. Oh, and there we go. This is something that's pretty cool. The gifted keeps on giving. Watch yourself. The 1950s, some guy had a automobile repair shop in Gatesville. And he'd take the used tires and he'd go up pretty much where Harmon is and he'd dump them tires out. And those are 1950 sidewalls. You see them every now and then. And on that upper place we went where you got stuck in the mud, I found a wagon hub wheel.
Okay.
So that was pretty good. So that's the current. Then that just goes on down and then back around to where we were at. Sometimes this is better looking. Then there's a gravel bar. There used to be a little island out there. But judging from the way things have flowed, come on, Pluto, Pluto, come on. Get over here, come on. Get over here, come on, come on. Get, come on. Because if he went beyond that bog, I don't know what the next get out was. You know, you can get in the water up here, it don't matter, but okay. So that's what I got.